Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gotham Knight channel. I am your host, the Gotham Knight, and today I want to go ahead and get everyone caught up for the comics as Batman: The Adventures continue. Now, if you have been keeping up with the comics and also a lot of news from HBO Max, you know that HBO Max had pushed on to bring back the animated series, which a lot of us were jumping for joy. Like, yes, yes, all right, the animated series back. And, well, what does that entail? Like, where do we go? Like, what's this next step? So, what they did was in the comics, and if you don't know this, uh, technically the animated series has continued in comics. And they just kicked it off a few months back with season one. And they brought back a lot of the franchise veterans like Alan Burnett, Paul Dini, and Ty Templeton, and they all came back to, of course, they're fan favorites. I mean, they're part of the DC universe, and they've introduced so many great stories, and especially Paul Dini with his creation of Harley Quinn. So many iconic storylines and characters that they've done over the years. Well, they've just been continuing it now in comics, and they've broken it down. They called there's season one. That's what they're calling it, season one, and we got to see a lot of great characters like Deathstroke, Azrael, Red Hood. And these are characters that were never part of the animated series back in the 90s, because a lot of this stuff was created, or Deathstroke wasn't doing crossovers like how they wanted to do before. And honestly, don't know if the character was felt as popular as he is now. And I think through the years they've given him a better storylines and better surrounding support, and characters like Jason Todd's Red Hood. That was something that wasn't touched in the animated series. Well, now they're doing it. They're doing it in comics, and they're continuing. And I think this is a nice base for them to continue those stories when the actual cartoons start coming back out on HBO Max and Cartoon Network. And so I want to get you guys ready for season two and what can happen, because they've already let out clues and hints that in the Batman Adventures, what's coming out is now the Court of Owls. And oh my goodness, this was a smash hit, guys. If you're not collecting comics, please go back and read the Court of Owls. A wonderful team, amazing team by the brilliant Scott Snyder and one of my great friends, Greg Capullo. Please go check out that series. Amazing series. But you also have a return of Deadman. No, Deadman's a character that is not used a lot. He's mainly Justice League Unlimited. I believe that's where we saw him before. Not a character that's really seen and used, kind of like the Spectre. So these are characters that are going to be coming back into the animated series, where I think stories that were the reason why I think the animated series stopped was because I think they reached the amount of stories they could tell. And now we get to see those. So before we got to see in the series where not so much, there was the Batman Superman crossover, but the Superman animated series, of course, saw Lex Luthor, and you got to see that kind of interaction. And now we will be seeing a lot of different takes from the comics to the cartoon. So the Court of Owls is coming in. We know Deadman's coming in. In the books, we had, of course, now we get to see Deathstroke. possibly coming to the cartoon. And then Azrael. And Azrael, I always felt was they did it so great in the video game. So if you guys played any of the Arkham games, especially the Arkham Knight, where you can play as Azrael and have that ability, and you see the storyline between Batman and Azrael and the Order of Saint Dumas, there was 3 endings. If you didn't know that, well, not endings, but how that storyline ended in that video game, there was 3 outcomes to choose from, and those 3 outcomes were you could try to kill Batman, and the magic word is try, and he locks you up, or you could pick up the sword and try. And I'm sorry guys, this is not spoilers, the game has been out for already 6 years. So he picked up the sword and was contemplating killing Batman, and Batman would just stood there, just waiting on the computer. And then he grabs the sword and breaks it with his own gauntlet. And Batman looks at him and says, "You don't make the right choice." And of course, he looks at Batman and says, "No one should be. I'm the only one that should be messing with my head." He goes, "The Order of Saint Dumas has, things to answer for." And then the other one is where you don't grab the sword, you enter the elevator, and it basically talks about the no one controls him, and bringing the Saint Dumas order to justice. So that's how that played out in the video game. How they do it in the animated series, that's something waiting to be seen, and how they're going to do it. But we know through the comics back then, Azrael, which was John Paul, was took over the mantle of the cowl while Batman was healing and coming stronger, a la Rocky-ish type thing, and coming back and getting his body stronger. And the whole Nightfall series, and that outfit was that was so cool, that outfit. So it's one of my favorite outfits, and especially one of my favorite storylines from back in the day. And it included a lot of characters. Not only did it include Catwoman, it also included the Penguin. It had Mr. Freeze. It was a really great storyline. I think that was very, very well developed storyline. So I don't know if they're going to try to do the Nightfall storyline in the animated series, which would be cool, because that could be a couple episodes and we could finally see the Nightfall. I'm trying to think if they ever did the Nightfall animation. I don't think they have. Nope. I don't think they've ever done the Nightfall. But they did do the Red Hood, and that's the one where Jason Todd comes back. And man, that was emotional, because one, I was one of the kids back in the day that did not like Jason Todd. Didn't like him. I did not like him. I am guilty of asking my dad for how much was it? 70 or 80 something cents. It might have been 99 cents to make a call to kill Jason Todd. Yep, I know what you guys are thinking right now. And yes, I was the one that helped kill Jason Todd, right? A death in the family, that whole storyline. They let us choose. And the thing was that if you were a kid back then, you believed that Dick Grayson should be the only Robin. The only Robin. Well, good thing that myself and individuals like myself called DC Comics to kill Jason Todd, because if we hadn't, we wouldn't have these great storylines that followed that included the mysteries of Jason Todd, like the Hush series, and of course the Death in the Family is what led to it, and then Of course, an amazing animation came out of that, Batman Under the Red Hood, and then especially going to be coming out in the video games now. In the new video game, Gotham Knights, is the Red Hood. So I feel that I have a certain tie more to Jason Todd now because of my actions as a kid. That now I'm responsible for this Red Hood, so I like him even better now. So that's the whole circle about coming full circle on Jason Todd. So yeah, he's a character I really like now. I really like, and it's very ironic and on the way this played out, and very excited anytime I get to see Jason Todd and the Red Hood, because they've done an amazing job in the comics with him, in animation especially. They've done an amazing job, and if you haven't seen the animation Batman Under the Red Hood, please go see it. And it does have an emotional ending, actually through the whole thing. If you're invested in Batman, and I don't know that part, I don't know if I can honestly give a honest take that if you're not invested in Batman, because this is a character that I loved all my life since I was a kid, and I'm fully in depth into this universe, so I can only give you my opinion. And whenever I see the Red Hood, the animation, it's very emotional. The way they definitely wrote it, especially even in the comic. It was an emotional turn. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen it, but definitely a movie that can get you in the right area if you're not fully prepared for it. So definitely highly recommend Batman Under the Red Hood. So I'm excited to see Jason Todd come into the animation. I am excited for the Batman Adventures. He's already in animation, but not in the Batman animated series world. So I'm excited to see him there. I'm excited to see where that could lead us and where it can go. Another character that was definitely a character that we want to see further, because in the animated series, I mean, they did the typical, and I hate saying that because I love these villains. They're not typical to me, but they are the A-list characters from Batman. And you have, of course, Joker, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, now Harley Quinn, Killer Croc, Two-Face, who was the other one? Mr. Freeze. A lot of the A-tip, the Riddler. Man, there's so many great villains out there. Even the ventriloquist storyline. No, and that's an interesting take too. So if we look at that, we will know that in the anime series there was Arnold Wesker. Of course, the way they handled it in the storyline was very well done, and in the balance of having a person that has this personality of saying that it's not him, that it's his boss, which is Scarface. I think those stories were wonderfully done in the cartoon. And if you've never seen the ventriloquist, Arnold Wesker, go check out those series. But here's the thing. He's been replaced in the comics. Not in the animated series, but in comics, it's kind of like Arnold Wesker kind of retired. And then a female took up the role. Her name escapes me at the moment. But now a female does it. So if the animated series comes back, I wonder if they're going to change that. And update themes, right? That's the one thing that I don't want them to lose the art part of it, because the art deco part, I know people always they always say, oh, it looks old and new, and they always do this cross. It's they're the animated series had a very Art Deco style to it, and I want them to continue that. And I think the last time that they really kept up with that was in 2003's Batman Mystery of the Batwoman, where they still kept some of the background and that style before I'm trying to think of another animation where they kept that art style, but they did change that at the time, right? There are villains, the newer villains especially, people may want to see, like Punchline is a very popular character right now. Clown Hunter is another one, and they're introducing these new characters almost left and right. And you have the Ghost Maker, you have the new oh man, what's her name? I have the comic right here. As you guys can hear, I'm here. I'm getting my comics out. Well, my recent ones. All right, right here. Who do we have? Meet Miracle Molly, and that's Tynion who's writing this series. Oh my god, it's just amazing. If you're not reading Batman right now by Tynion, it is really good. You're doing yourself a disservice if you're not reading any of the recent Batman stories. So, and oh my god, George Jimenez's art, simply beautiful. Like, this dude is just a complete superstar. Miracle Molly. So Miracle Molly is another new character that has come out and, I guess, taken that comic community by storm. Especially Punchline. In the stories right now, Punchline is doing. She's just a fan favorite right now. So maybe having that storyline, and I know there was an anime series with Batman and Harley Quinn. I think they are gonna move on from Harley and the Joker, and have Harley do her own thing. So that's a way that they can introduce Punchline into the animated series, being with Joker. But yeah, there's a lot to Punchline. So I just wanted to touch base with you guys about the Batman, the adventures continue, and the stories, because they kicked off this month in June. So as I record this is June 1st. So technically the stories are all kicking back up, and I want to get you guys excited. If you didn't collect the back issues of this, go out, do yourself a favor, get those books, get ready for the new books that are going to be coming out here this month, and yeah, have a lot of fun, because I'm pretty sure we're going to hear some news about the animated series coming from DC Fandom 2 this fall. So yeah, I mean, the adventures live on in comics, guys. So just want to get you guys caught up on that. I want you guys to have a great day out in Gotham City. And I'm just going to pause and drink my Gotham coffee, and hope you have a good day out there. All right, Gothamites? So we'll talk to you later and see you at the next show. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Take care.